Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclyde's MTG, and we're here to start off. The Midnight Hunt spoilers have already started, and it's great. We got a couple mechanics, a couple cards to look at already from the late in the night hours. Also, a little bit later, we'll talk a little bit about the MPL arena matchups that's going to be going on this weekend, and we get to hear about all the MPL guys whining about how they actually have to do something like Wizards of the Coast wouldn't give it to them in the butt anyway. So, without further ado, remember guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, put some comments down below. You agree, disagree, or whatever you like. I'll answer if I can. It helps feed that YouTube algorithm, get more support for the channel with views, and I really do appreciate it. Other ways you could support the channel, in the description below is a link to the eBay store. All my mass box openings, the cards I open, get put on the eBay store as singles for sale. So get the cards that you need, pack fresh, from a trusted source, and heck, you even get to see them open for yourself. So, without further ado, let's start talking about it. So, put those trade tables and seat backs in their full upright position as we take off into the world of Midnight Hunt. So, guys, first thing we're going to talk about is day and night. Sorry about the bad picture, it's the way it was posted. So, there's two mechanics. There's a day and a night mechanic now coming back in the new Midnight Hunt. So, here you can see it says if it becomes day or night, or if a daybreak permanent enters the battlefield, track day and night for the rest of the game. So, as it becomes day, you transform all night-bound permanents, and if a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night the next turn. So, if you um, if you cast no spells, it becomes night, and so when it becomes night, this is what the token tells you. So, it says, as it becomes night, transform all day-bound permanents. Permanents enter the battlefield night-bound. So if a player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn, it becomes day the next turn. So I believe that this is going to be, between these two, will decide how cards enter the battlefield, and it will matter throughout the course of the game. Now notice here, it never starts as night probably. At least that's what we're guessing, because there's no errata here, right? It just says as it becomes night, you transform all day-bound permanents. So if we scroll back a little bit today here, it says if it becomes day or night, or if a daybreak permanent enters the battlefield, you track day or night for the rest of the time. So maybe you can do both. Maybe it only starts as daytime. But as we scroll through here, let's take a look at what it might be meaning. So here's the old Innistrad cards. This is a goodie but an oldie. The Mayor of Aberbrook, right? He has a transformation. He turns over to a 3/3 werewolf at the beginning of each upkeep. If no spells were cast last turn, you transform the Mayor of Aberbrook. Just like it says from going to day to night. You'll notice up here, it has like a little sun. They may be getting a write on the card saying this is day bound. If you flip the card over, you'll notice that here we have the Howlpack Alpha. It looks like a night symbol. And it says, at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Howlpack Alpha. So what this could very well mean is if it's night and you go to cast this creature, it enters as night. So you would cast the Mayor of Aberbrook for 2, and it would immediately flip over and enter as this werewolf possibly. So this is going to be a very interesting mechanic, and it may be really fun. Hopefully they don't bust it too much by printing something that's just disgusting that abuses it to the point where only one deck is really good, i.e., remember what happened with Energy. Um, I'm really excited about this. I think this is a sweet mechanic. Um, and the actual rules of Rado will be really neat to see once they actually start coming out and we actually start getting a good feel for the game. But I'm really thinking that what's going to happen is if it's nighttime, for example, and you have your Mayor for 2, you cast him for 2, but if it's nightbound, he immediately enters as this. Because if you look back at the nightbound permanent, it says as it becomes night, you transform him. So you would transform him, which you would anyway, because the same transformation requirements happen. It says permanents enter the battlefield nightbound. So you cast it for 2, it would probably enter on the flip side. So it's very interesting. So keep that in mind as we go through this and start talking about these other cards. So with that said, we did get a couple other cards to look at. So after you get past the Howlpack Alpha, guess who it is? It's the one and the only Sarith the Viper's Fang. So this is a new legendary creature, human warlock. It's 2 green and 2. This looks like it's going to be the art for what alternate art cards would look like, border wise and so forth. It's very pagan, uh, paganist style of nature and things like that. Especially with it, it's a warlock, i.e., witch. Got that kind of whole, I'm gonna cast a spell on you kind of feel. I do kind of like it though, especially in green. I'm kind of interested if this will be the same for all the colors, because that would be kind of weird if black was in this green format, per se. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm really interested to see this. Anyway, so the creature is for 4 mana, it's a 3/4. Other tap creatures you control have Death Touch. So all your other tap creatures have Death Touch, which means if they attack, they have Death Touch. Other untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. So this is a very good rare that's multi-purposed of if I swing, I'm going to kill. If I don't swing, you can't kill my guys. Also, for one colorless and tapping it, you can untap another target creature and or land you control. So not only can it give you ramp later in the game if that's what you really need, you can actually swing with a creature when they try to kill it because now it's tapped and doesn't have hexproof. You can tap this to untap the creature, give it hexproof, meaning that because this is untapped, they can't target it. They have to target something else first, and then this can untap it, making them waste 2 spells to kill just this creature you're looking at right now before they can actually kill the real creature that may be a threat. So I'm really, really excited about this card. I think it might have some play. It's in green, so it's already in a powerful color. And in Commander, I think this thing is just going to be the bee's knees. So keep a lookout for this card, guys. Now, as we talk about day-night one last time, this card doesn't flip, but this one does. So notice this here we have Arlen, the Pax Hope. It's a green, red, and 2 colors, so it's 4 for 4 Loyalty Planeswalker. Notice it says Daybound. If a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. Same as normal, right? But this is a Daybound card, so when it enters, you start tracking day and night. I.e., you see the sun, like in the previous Mayor of Aberbrook card, which is very similar to what we see in the set. +1. Until your next turn, you may cast creature spells as though they had flash, and each creature you control enters the battlefield with additional +1/+1 counter on it. I can see that would be kind of cool, especially in green. I don't think it's that powerful just yet, but to be honest with you, anything's probably possible. -3, create 2/1/2/2/2 green wolf creature tokens. That itself is very powerful. For 4, you can put it in, make 2/2/2s, still have a planeswalker start ticking up. That's just insane. Also, if you get a free turn where you can +1 it and then -3 it, these wolves come in at 3/3s. That's insane. Oh wait, hang on a second. I read that wrong. Oh no, it says enters the battlefield. It doesn't say anything about the cast part. So yeah, very powerful planeswalker. I think this is finally the Arlen cord we've been looking for to actually have maybe an impact on the standard format or just an impact in general. Now, let's take a look at the night side. So we go through the night side. So here it has Nightbound. It says if a player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn, it becomes day the next turn. So I think this is going to be a keyword. Notice up here there's no casting cost. Notice here, got the night symbol like before. Now, +2, that's a lot to get this to 6. It says add a red and a green. That's some amazing ramp for 4, especially when you're racking up a planeswalker on it. And then for 0, until end of turn, Arlen the Moon's Fury becomes a 5/5 werewolf creature with trample, indestructible, and haste. So if you're on night and you cast Arlen on the front side, it comes in on the back side. You immediately can make her a 5/5 with haste and just punch somebody in the face for 4 mana. And it has trample and it's 5/5. Like, this is an insanely powerful card, guys. And I think it's going to make some serious waves in standard. I know a lot of people are like, oh, the power creep's too high. We need to pull back. And they're right. This does not look like power creep pullback to me. This is insane. I like it. I like it a lot. I always liked Arlen as a planeswalker and a character. So I really hope that this is the kind of card that can shine in this set because I think she deserves her time finally. So, moving right along. Next, let's talk about the MPL players whining. So, all the card we just went through was really great, and I hope you're just excited about it as I am. I went ahead and tagged this on the end of it. I'm going to make this quick because I'm not trying to pick on anybody, and I just want you guys to understand. I am picking on them for whining from the sense that they play Magic for a living, and I know how hard that can really be. That's sarcasm if you didn't catch that. Second, what did they expect from Wizards of the Coast? Because they've already laid it to them long and deep before, several times here recently, very hard and very deep. And this is just like the top off at the end of it, when like you don't pull out. But anyway, so they're obviously upset and they're pissed. And to be honest with you, if I was on it, I'd be a little mad too. Although honestly, it doesn't affect all of them. But they're standing up as a group for each other, and I can respect that. But at the end of the day, um, I'm gonna pick on you. A, because that's how I show some affection and love because I, just messed up in the head. And B, what did you expect from Wizards? So, in case you guys didn't know, this little gem came out. So, in order to ensure the stability of the MPL Gauntlet and Rivals Gauntlet, we will be postponing the start of the event to 9 a.m. on Friday. So, tune into Twitch for 3 days of play, blah, 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 blah. So, for those of you who don't know what that means, this tournament was supposed to be a 4-day tournament that started, excuse me, that started on Thursday. So like people took extra days off from work. Kudos for them. They have the right to really lay into them about it. Second, it's really laying the schnookin to those who are not inside the U.S. Because remember, guys, this is digital, so they're in different time zones. And what it's doing is it's causing a tournament to squeeze 2 days of a tournament into 1 day, which means 9 rounds in 1 day. And in case you guys don't know what a 9-round tournament looks like, if you've ever went to one of the old Magic Fests or the GPs and played the first day with no buys, man, is it fun! But by the end of the day, you've spent your whole day doing it, especially with rounds and matchmaking, and then you got to figure out how to get something to eat, get to sleep, and get back up for the next day, even if you qualify bright early in the morning. And it can be very hard, which is why we don't have them every weekend. Trust me, as an old tournament grinder, and being to the tour once, these kind of things really make it hard for Magic players to perform at their peak. And the situation in general, for one, they're playing Arena, which means it's going to be awful to begin with. I'll never watch it. Two, this is rough. They took the bad part out of Magic when it came to long days. Now they're squeezing it back in because honestly, with it going away, the Wizards just don't care. I don't think. So some people had some responses to this, as you would expect. Because once you get a good slacking, you want to talk about it. So Keebler here even says, I wish I could say that I'm shocked. Magic Esports would change the schedule of one of the most important tournaments of the year with less than 24 hours notice. Is a way that screws non-American players, but is almost seems par for the course with their haphazard OP lately, which is Operation. And he's correct. Like I said, even though I'm picking on these guys, what do they expect from Wizards? They run a giant crap fest of a circus with nothing but monkeys. So I don't know who's doing this. Brad Nelson makes a comment here. The sudden update to the Gauntlet schedule is a slap in the face to every player that's not inside the U.S. time zone, and he is correct. Um, so again, like they care, they're doing away with this kind of tournament style anyway. Um, so those at the very end of the run, I mean, enjoy the fact that they didn't just stop it. At least you're still getting a chance to play for money. Because honestly, nobody watches it. So there is that. A few other comments I thought was kind of amusing. We have here, you're like, man, I can't pronounce that name. I'm sorry, dude. Uh, I'm, I'm American and apparently not educated enough to understand all that. But, your look here says it's not even funny anymore. The second most important tournament of the year, right after Worlds, of course. Thursday gets canceled. That means 9 rounds on Friday instead of 6, like I talked about before. An outrageous last minute change to the UE and APAC players. And he is correct. But at least we got a few football teams sponsored. At least we got a new football team sponsored. Well, there is that. I mean, he's looking on the bright side, right? Um, but yeah, again, this just talks about those guys outside the U.S. and how they're getting getting hosed about this whole situation because of time zone differences. Let's see here. And then the next one we have, I thought was a good one. Old Javier Dominguez put a good one out there. I am very, very tilted by the last minute changes that simply punish you for not being American for the most important event in the last 2 years. Well done at Wizards Magic. Uh, I feel you, Javier. But to be honest with you, welcome to the rest of us who aren't pro players who play the game for fun and been trying to get to a GP for a while, um, and not being able to get to a pro tour. For all of us who couldn't make it, like I said, I've been to them. They are fun, but they're also very taxing. Welcome to see what it's like when Magic treats you like the rest of the world and just doesn't care. Sorry, Javier. You're a great guy. Love your game. So, moving on to the next sweet one. We have good old Kai Buddy here. So Kai's a great player. I like him a lot. It says here I and others took Thursday off of work, and instead the entire tournament gets changed where we're playing only on Friday, but until 3 or 5 a.m. local time, i.e., you know, not U.S. Changing this 24 hours before the supposed event start playing, uh, weird face. And again, Brad Nelson commented on this too. I don't know why I picked it up as well, but anyway, um, like I said, sorry guys, not sorry. Um, I do appreciate what you're going through, and do I think it's right? No. Do I think you should have expected it? Yes, because this is Wizards. This is what they do. Um, and with them realizing, honestly, that people don't like to watch tournament play on Arena because it's awful. They want to see real card play, kind of like the old SCG tournament stuff. People go watch real cards getting played with some great commentary. Um, you're going to keep getting the short end of the stick because they've realized they don't have to pay you and that you're not relevant. Now, some of these guys are great, and their individual YouTube channels and things that they do is fantastic. And I would highly suggest watching some of that probably. But relying on Match to take care of you, they've already said they don't want to. They made that very apparent. And the minute they announced that publicly and did not care, even with all the backlash that came from it, is really writing on the wall that anything else you do for them is going to have nothing to do with what you want or care about how they treat you. So sorry, Kai, Javier, all the rest of you guys, and every other Magic player I've played over the years and the guys I met on the Pro Tour. Um, at the end of the day, you're whining, but at the end of the day, you had to expect this was coming because you know the people you were dealing with, and if you didn't, um, wow. So it's all said and done. Thanks a lot, guys, for the time. I do appreciate it. And until next time, remember to be kind. Get out there, make your local game store happy. Buy from those local distributors and guys you know locally to support the local guy. Um, and in closing, I want to say, sorry, pro players. I knew Wizards were going to do this to you. Um, other than laughing at your whining, I don't know what I can do because I've been trying to get them. I can't even get them to replace a pack of cards that I filmed on my YouTube channel that I opened without rares in it, and them telling me that there's nothing they can do about it. So if they're willing to do that to me over a $3-4 pack of cards, and you guys are playing for thousands, I mean, do the math, guys. So again, sorry. I hope it gets changed for you if they do something for you. But at the end of the day, we can whine as much as we want, but everybody still pulls money out of their pocket to give to them. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you then. I hope I get to see you across from the game table.